बोलो।
Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Iso Panchanamukaro, Sapa Pavapanamtanam, Mangalam Cha Savesim, Padamam Vai Mangalam, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Sabasahunam, Esa Panchanamukaro, Sabhavanamsaram, Mangalam Cha Savesim, Padamam Vai Mangalam, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Sabasahunam, Esa Panchanamakaram, Sarva Pavanasanam, Mangalam Cha Savesim, Padamam Vai Mangalam. Arhat Bhakta Prasitam Ganadhar Rachitam Dvadashangam Vishalam Chittam Bhavarta Yuktam Munigana Rushubhe Tarisam Buddhi Matvi Moksha Gatva Bhutam Ratacharana Phalam Vyavhar Pradipam Bhaktyam Nityam Prapadye Sutamam Nityam Sarvalokaikasaram. Okay. So the homework was to think about what Bhaav could get rid of the fear of dying.
Hmm. Okay. Right. How do we explain that Bhaav will help us to overcome the fear of death? That's what the homework was.
It was which Bhaav, I think.
Yeah, what Bhaav can get rid.
Okay. So what do you think it is?
There's a Bhaav of knowing that like you're alone. Like in the universe, you're alone.
How will that help you? That's gonna make you even more sad, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but like, or maybe the Bhaav also that nothing is permanent.
Yeah, the Bhaav. That was 4.
Okay. So if we really believe that nothing is permanent, even I am not permanent, then that would be even
Except for
what
Dharm.
Hmm?
Dharm is an exception.
Yeah, but what has dharma got to do with me, right? If I believe that, hey, I'm not permanent, then I'm dying every minute. So how is that going to make me feel any better? How will that help me overcome the fear? Or are you saying that we will just resign ourselves to the fact that, hey, okay, now what is there to fear since I'm going to die every?
I mean, if you're brave enough, I guess you could do that.
Huh?
If you're brave enough.
So think think more. We have talked about it in, I think it was the very first session. What are our qualities? Do you remember that?
Human qualities?
What are our qualities? Why
Like
are you
us or like
interpreting
humanity?
our as human? Hmm?
A quality that humans have is being greedy.
No, the
Okay.
so I the other hint was did you guys do this? The three gathas of Santara Porsi.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we learned some
Yes.
type.
Yeah, we've learned Santara Porsi.
So the answer, I think I said that, right? The answer is kind of in the Santara Porsi sutras, like these three. We have only two gathas. There is the third one. We didn't bring it in here. Okay.
There were only
Wow.
two, I think.
Hmm?
There were only two.
Yeah, there are only two.
There's one more after this. Ego Natya Koi, Ego Masasopa. Okay, that's fine. These two are the important ones. So, okay. So, from here, you said that I am alone. That's where you got this from when you first said,
Kind
kind
of.
of. But,
It'll be like everything else. Friends, parents, toys, money are separate from me.
Yes. And also not forever. See, I did not get that from this one. That one was me. I did not get the not forever part from here. That was like my own thinking.
oh. So here that the answer is this, right? If do you know what eternal means?
Yeah.
Eternal
Never.
means dying
Oh,
every minute.
Mhm. Huh?
Eternal means dying every minute.
No.
No.
Or when would the eternal entity die?
Never.
Yeah, they never.
They
die.
don't die.
They're immortal.
Okay. Then who would it be good to be an eternal entity or not really?
Not really.
Why? Both of you did not have to even think about it.
Why? Why is it not a good thing to be an eternal entity?
I mean, because then you're just like stuck in the same death loop, but you're getting born again and dying. There's no
So you know
point.
why in the there's a gati namkaram. I'm trying to figure out what's the other you know the four gatis, right?
Yeah.
So there is the gati namkaram and then there's the ayushya no, not ayushya. Anyway, so generally the two gatis, human beings and heavenly beings, are considered to be positive, auspicious, okay. And then the other two are supposed to, yeah, I forgot what the other term is, but yeah, maybe it's, I don't know if it's Jatu. But anyway, so, and then the other two, Tiryanch and Narki, is considered to be negative, right? So they are called Durgati. You don't want to go there. Nobody would want to go there.
They're called Durga.
Yeah, we've heard this.
So Sadgati and Durgati.
Yeah,
Sadgati is like a positive and Durgati is like negative. But there's another classification which I cannot remember off the top of my head. I don't know if it's Ayushya. It's not probably not Ayushya, but it's another sub-classification of Namkaram where all three are considered to be positive except for Narki. So what reason do you think would make the Narki as a negative one as opposed to Tiryanch?
What makes Narki the what makes Narki what?
Negative.
So human Devlok and Tiryanch is positive.
What makes Narki bad is probably don't you get like tortured or something?
Yeah.
And then also
So that is,
Papa also said that in Narki one Atma can only get out of Narki when one goes to moksha.
no, that's not what he may have told you. That is
That is
Nigod.
Nigod. Nigod. You probably misunderstood.
What's Nigod?
He would have said,
What's Nigod?
I found
Nigod is a category of one sense living beings that are all over the universe. Some of them are visible, so some of them are Badar, and some of them are Sukshma. Sukshma is invisible. And the Badar ones, you might know, they are in potatoes, in root vegetables, basically. Beans and garlic and all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sukshma ones are all over the universe. We don't see them, but they are everywhere. So for Nigod, that is the rule, that one Atma has to become Siddh, and in order to for one Jeev to come out of Nigod. So in the morning, I don't know if you guys do this, but in the morning we look at our palm, right? Like this. We look at our palm and we join the crescent moon on our palm.
Siddhashila.
So that is the Siddhashila. And what do you say when you do that in the morning? Do you know?
No.
Namo Siddham. So when we say Namo Siddhanam, it refers to all the Siddh Bhagwans, the infinite Siddh Bhagwans. But when we say Namo Siddham, we start our day with gratitude for that one Siddh Jeev that got us out of Nigod. So remember that when you do it in the morning.
Okay.
I found the subtypes for Nam Karma. It says Shubh Nam Karma and Ashubh Nam Karma. Shubh Nam is a happy physique, which is leads to a pleasing and well-formed body.
Well, that's not what I
was
was talking, but yeah, I can find it and tell you. Look for Gati Nam Karma. There must be a
Destiny Gati, which the soul will be born, and birth species, which is Jati.
So do they talk about what the 4 subtypes of the Gati Nam Karma are?
Which book are you looking at?
This is so we had to do JAB this year, and this I took my notes in here.
Oh, yeah, I don't think the subcategory.
No, okay. Then that's fine. So
It
anyways,
says 103 subtypes. It says 103 subtypes.
Yeah, those are the 103
but
subtypes
it's
of
not
Nam
given.
Karma. So Nam Karma has a lot of subtypes, right? Like for example, what kind of body we get, what kind of bone structure we get, what kind of sound.
Wait, how does bone
Voice.
structure?
Yeah. You
Bone
don't
How
know
does
that?
like, so are you saying like my bone could be like a L shape or something?
No. It's like, the Tirthankar Bhagwans, the ratio of their body is very, it's very proportionate, it's very beautiful. So it's like Samchora Santan, if you have heard that word. So Santan is the bone structure. And Rushabh Narach Sanghayan is another example. So in our bones, we just have the joints that we have, right? Have you heard about the ball socket joint in your knee and in your shoulder? Not yet. So the ball socket joint is like, but like this. So we can move. There's like a ball here, and there's a socket, so you can move, and there is like padding in between. So that's like one type, that our Santan is like the worst.
It's the weakest.
It's
It's
the
basically
weakest.
like, think of taking 2 things and just putting 1 nail. So like if you have like 2 what would you say? 2 like 2 pieces of wood, for example, right? And if you want to join them, they just put 1 nail. That's our. But the Sanghayan of people who were born in the 4th era,
it was like this. So you see this? Like it's like a fit, like a jigsaw fits into each other.
Right.
And then it is attached. So if it's like this, it's going to be very difficult to break.
Yeah, I mean, basically it gives them a lot more strength than the strength that we have. But anyway, so that's kind of like a diversion. But those are some examples of the Nam Karma. So our question was, like, nobody, the one common property of all living beings, another common property of all living beings is that none of the living being wants to die. They all want to live, right? And even, does that make sense? So the question could arise that, hey, even then we hear sometimes that some people committed suicide or some people try to attempt suicide. So the reason even there is they are committing suicide so that they can live happy afterwards. Right? So it's kind of like a temporary, it's like a solution in their mind. It's not really destroying themselves. But Narki is the only place where the living beings in Narki, they don't want to live at all. They want to kind of finish their life as soon as possible.
Like every single moment, they feel like it would be better if they would die.
So that's why it's considered to be an Ashubh Gati.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So if they wish to die every second, does that mean that they don't die easily or something?
Correct. Yeah.
Or
So
do they die and they're reborn again in Narki?
Yeah, they die and get
No. So Narki is
they're not reborn.
there are two types of Ayushya Karma. Now we are going into the Ayushya Karma. So the Ayushya Karma of Narki and the Ayushya Karma of Devlok is such that you have to go through that much period. Like there is no accidental. So with human beings, it's possible that I might have an Ayushya Karma of 100 years, for example, but I might die sooner. And what happens in that instances is basically in the last instance, all the karmas, they compress together and they come into Uday. So I don't live for a span of 100 years, but I might die sooner. But that's not possible in Devlok and Narki. So
even if they are cut, if they are beaten, they are cooked in hot oil, all those tortures, they still continue to live because they have to finish their pak karma. They have to finish this Ayushya karma. They won't die.
Just wondering how long would their life? Would they live like a longer life than a human average lifespan?
Yeah. So there are, you know how many types of Narki there are?
One.
Or how many levels of Narki?
Well, levels. Levels.
Seven levels.
Okay. Yeah. So each level, as you go down the universe, right? So you start with Narki 1, Hellish Region 1, Hellish Region 2, so on till Hellish Region 7. So each region has a minimum lifespan and a maximum lifespan. So the first region itself, and the lifespan increases as you go down. So the first region, minimum lifespan is 10,000 years. And Hellish Region 7, the last hell, is 33 Sagropams.
Sagropam is how much?
So that's like infinite, not infinite, but uncountable years, right? We had talked about it a little bit last time.
And 33 of them.
Yeah, so it's a long, long, long time. So 33 Sagropams.
Somebody went to Narki around the same time that Mahavir Swami attained Nirvana. They're only like 1/3 done.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very small period. Yeah, I was trying to think. So obviously it's much.
If somebody until like Tattvarth.
If they went to Narki.
If somebody went to Narki 1 around the same time Mahavir Swami attained moksha, then they've only done like 1/3 of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they are in the first Narki, but if they are in the last Narki, then it's they have hardly.
That's probably before
it's kind of like they lived. They have finished only one day out of the several years that they will be there. So the reason why we
stuck there for a really long time, and their body is like Mercury. I don't know if you've seen Mercury.
Like the planet?
Not the planet.
Oh.
Not the planet, like the Mercury.
Chemical element.
What's it like?
Thermometer. Have you seen when we get fever, we use the thermometer to measure our temperature?
There's mercury in there which rises as the temperature rises. So if the thermometer were to break and the mercury would fall, it would fall into pieces, like in small bubble like dots everywhere. And then when you bring them together, they just join into one bubble. So like that, the Narki's body is Vaikriya body. So it disintegrates
into tiny pieces and then it just joins back.
Comes back again. Yeah. because they have to go through that torture. So even though there's like tremendous amount of pain, they won't die.
I wonder what karma you would have to do to go to like 7th Narak.
Oh, I thought you would know that. What karmas? You didn't study that in the Karma Granth?
We have
What karma granth is it in?
Hmm?
What karma
It should be in the first Karma Granth itself.
Oh, okay.
He's almost done with that one.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, kind of at a simpler level, when we do there are 5 vrats, right? And then there are the going against the 5 vrats, right? So for example, ahimsa, and then there's somebody who goes against ahimsa is doing a lot of hinsa. Somebody that is going against parigraha is doing a lot of, somebody that is going against aparigraha is doing a lot of parigraha. So extreme amounts of each of the vrats that leads to anarchy.
So in short form, it is called Maha Aram and Maha Parigraha. Do you know one person who, because of his extreme desire for parigraha, he was in the time of Mayuraswami Bhagwan. He didn't do any other, like he did not kill anybody, he did not murder anybody, he did not do like cheating, or he did not steal, like he did not smuggle, he did not do any of those, or he did not even fight a war. But he had extreme greed for parigraha, and he went to the 7th hell. Do you know who that was?
No.
Any guess? Have you heard about the hint is bull?
The hint is what?
Bull. It's a human being, but the
I'm
hint
getting
is
the
bull.
wrong idea for this.
What?
I thought Rishabdev.
No. Rishabdev Bhagwan is already in Siddhshila.
I know, that's why it's so wrong.
So we're not talking about Lanchan here.
I know, but when you say bull, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, he had an artificial bull made out of jewels.
I know this person.
I know this person. It's in one of our books, but I forgot the name.
Wait, I'm gonna go get the book.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, you don't need to go
No,
get the
No,
book.
we can do this.
We can do this, yeah.
You might not have that book.
God, we might. No, we haven't.
His last name is Shet.
I think I've seen it before.
Not his last name, but he was known as Sheikh.
God, his last name is Sheikh. Just find his first name.
Sheikh nahi, Sheikh.
Sheikh.
Which book are you looking at?
Kavya, get the book too.
This book? I don't know.
AES book has it? Probably. I don't
Story
know.
books.
I'm looking at the Jain storybook.
Yeah, I don't know if it has it. Maybe it has it. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't
Stories
think so.
around Mayuraswami Bhagwan, you can check that section. I don't think they have it. Maybe they have it.
Bhagwan, Ganadhar, Kevali, Acharya, Bharat King, Seth, and he said, monk.
No, Mayuraswami Bhagwan. Stories at the time of Mayuraswami Bhagwan. I think there's a section.
What?
Is his name like Mama Sheikh?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
But
We have the book for it. We have a book.
Yeah, cool. That's
See,
it.
these are the bulls.
Yeah, exactly.
So he had extreme asakti, he had extreme desire for parigraha, and he wouldn't share it with anybody, not even his own son. He wouldn't give any dan. He wouldn't even think about ever giving any dan. And all he was obsessed with for his entire lifetime was trying to get those jewels in the golden, he was creating these bejeweled bulls, and there was only one bull whose horns were left that were did not have jewels. So everywhere else they were studded with jewels, and he had them in his basement, and it was just lying there. But it was just so you can see, right? It was an ego thing for him, and he had extreme like he wanted to complete, yeah. So he wanted to complete those bulls with all the jewels, and that he thought was the most important achievement, biggest achievement of his lifetime. So sometimes, like, that is an extreme example and a true story at the time of Maharaj Swami Bhagwan.
Another person at the time of Maharaj Swami Bhagwan that went to seventh hell was Kalashorik Kasai. Have you heard his name?
He's the one who would murder like 500 animals every day.
Right. And so much so that even when Shrenik Maharaja put him in the prison,
he would make them out of sand and then slice their heads with a stick.
So he was killing them with his bhav.
Bhav Hinsa, extreme Bhav Hinsa. So,
like mentally he was killing them, right? Even though physically he was not killing them, he was mentally killing them. And so he was so obsessed with violence.
It is probably more pap than physically killing them, right?
Yeah.
Bhav
like
if Hinsa is always great.
If I'm careful not to step on anybody, and if still I end up stepping on a jeev, then the pap will be less as opposed to somebody that is careless.
The classic example given for Dravya Hinsa and Bhav Hinsa, like to understand it, is like how a surgeon, if a surgeon is doing surgery and they cut open the patient and they are trying to save the patient's life, but the patient dies. So will they get the pap of killing that patient?
They will, but like not. I think they get the pap, but not a lot because they weren't intending to do it.
Right. So their intention was to save the person, right? They were not trying to harm the person. Right.
Okay, so where we went through a lot of things to understand that.
How many jeeves are in Narak? Like this, specifically the seventh one. Maybe like, I don't know, if somebody would have to go through such extreme
more than Manushya, you know, right? The Manushya is the least and Tiryanch is the highest. And Devs are the second highest and Narkis are third highest.
Oh. Wait.
So Manush with the least amount of
is the least.
Yeah. And then there's Narki, and then there's more in Devlok, and then there's more in Tiryanch. But like, don't you think that if it would be such extreme, like not following Pach Vrat, it would like so extreme to get into Narki, don't you think that there'd be less jeeves there? Like, I don't know. If we can already think of two.
Say that again.
No, so for example, right? Like, a lot of people eat meat. So eating meat and eating meat with lot of relish, like so the bhav comes there, right? So if you relish it a lot, if you say, hey, there are some people who would say that, hey, I cannot live without meat if I don't eat meat on a day. Like if I were to eat just a vegetarian dish, I feel like I've not eaten anything. So that kind of extreme bhav can lead to it. These are ordinary people. These are people who are at workplace working with me, for example.
So in school also you might have some classmates, right, that would be eating meat. Now there the difference might be like they have never had another choice. They are born into a non-vegetarian family, so they've never had that option or the choice growing up of what else is available, right? So that is less power.
It can be seen. So even if somebody is eating, for example, because they were born in a meat-eating family, they are eating meat. But if they have compassion for other living beings, which can be seen in their other actions. So for example, like there are some people who, when it's kind of like now it's going to get a little bit more warmer weather and we can sit outside, and if there are bugs, they do this, right?
They kill the bugs with their hands, or they have the fly traps.
So that kind of shows, right, that they don't consider it to be, they don't have compassion towards that living being. So things like that we can still, so it's obviously we cannot say in a absolute manner that, hey, because this person did this, they will, because like we already talked, The Bhaav part is the more important part. And therefore, it's like the act of, if you really desire to eat non-vegetarian food, right, then that would lead a lot more path than somebody that's eating it because they just were born in a family and did not have any other, did not think that, hey, there could be some other choice.
So the one example to understand how people can, even though they might be from that type of family, like Karl Sorik's son, the butcher's son, the one who went to seventh heaven, he
could not kill them.
Right.
Yeah, he took Shravakna Vrat, 12 vrats under Mahavir Swami.
His family people forced him that, hey, you need to follow the. At that time, there was this thing in the society. The tradition in the society was that the son would follow the profession of the father. So his family members told him that, hey, now your father is no more there, so you should continue with the butcher profession.
Yeah.
But he said, no, I cannot get myself to kill somebody. So there are exceptions like that. And actually, that is something that we were going to talk about a little bit later. How Samyak Darshan can come from Nisarg or can come from Adhigam. So there are two words. So before we go there, real quick, the important line in the Santara Porsi, the if we can believe that, hey, I am an eternal entity, meaning I will never die, then that will take care of the fear. So our fear is mainly because we identify ourselves with the body, and we know that the body is going to perish. Right? We'll have to leave the body here. So if we distance ourselves from the body, and if we can truly believe, so there are two ways to believing that, and that's what we talked about before, right? Tattvarth, Shraddhanam, Samyag, Darshanam. So faith in Dev, Guru, and Dharm. So the last part was the Dharm part, and in the Dharm, we want to have faith in true God, true Guru, so that we can get faith in our true nature. And our true nature is that I am an eternal entity and my qualities are knowledge and perception.
They have a slide.
We did the dungeon.
Yeah.
So that's the nature of, and that's where we talk. But then there's also this part, right? If I believe myself, so this is the Nischay definition of what is Samyaktva, which is to say that one has a direct experience, one has a realization of the pure soul. And does that sound familiar? Do you recall where we had used this similar word? What was it called?
It was like one of the 4 words. It was like
Very good.
Nirgrant, Nishpruit,
We have
Gatha, and something
Which
else.
So the most important one.
Atmagyani, the one I did not say.
Yeah, the one that's most important, because the other 3 are kind of hanging on Atmagyani. If you don't have Atmagyani, then the other 3 will not, it's not possible to have the other 3. So Atmagyani is the most important part. Okay, so we kind of finished the second sutra, which was Tattvarth, Shraddhanam, Samyak Darshanam, right? We defined Samyak Darshan in 2 ways. So Dev, Guru, Dharm, Shraddha, and then we define who is a true Dev, who is a true Guru, and what is true Dharm. And then we said from Nischay perspective, Samyaktva is experiencing one's own true nature. So knowing, just like how we gave the example earlier of suppose you have an American friend who has never eaten mango, and you can draw a picture of mango, you can describe the mango to her or him. So all that is the Shruta Gyan. But then you can when you go to India, you bring a mango,
That's a lot of
or
work.
you go to Indian store and bring a mango,
That's less
give
work.
her, and she eats it. That's when she gets the taste. So that's how the Nischay Samyaktva is basically getting the taste of our true nature.
And in when the person becomes a Siddh, when they have completely purified themselves from Samyaktva all the way to complete purity, that's when they experience their soul completely all the time. Right? So the Samyak, the Atma Gnan or Nischay Samyaktva is kind of like, what do you call it? Not starters, but like just taste. Like you get
So
to taste.
the very first time somebody would get the taste, and then it doesn't last for too long. So that's why it's kind of like a taste. Right? So it's kind of like instead of giving a bowl full of mangoes, you give just a small portion.
Sample.
Mhm.
I know,
But
but
that
like
sample is enough for the person to realize that, hey, this is who I am, and that realization remains with them, and that realization actually is what that's how these bhavs counting start, when you get that realization. So it's not enough to just have Shraddha in Dev Guru Dharm, but using the Shraddha in Dev Guru Dharm to reach the Anubhav Gnan, or to reach the Atma Gnan, that is when you get, that is considered to be the true Samyaktva, and that's where the counting of the bhavs start.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you go back to the slide where it says like all the where the Samyaktva and all that? For like the where the countdown starts.
Oh,
No.
we were just on that one.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Are you supposed to like for your infinite past births, to attain Samyaktva, do you need to be like a king and a celestial god?
No. These are just examples.
Okay.
There
These
could
are
be a
just
tree here.
examples.
So
This
what
could
they are
be-
trying to say is that even if you are as powerful as a king, right? A king is supposed to be like really rich and powerful. Or even if you are powerful as a god, right? So God has Dev, celestial god, heavenly beings. Or even if you take Diksha. So all these three are like, we generally think that, hey, these three people are special, but even then, their value is not a whole lot. Like the value of these birds is zero unless and until they attain Samyaktva. Unless and until we attain Samyaktva. So that's what they are trying to depict here. So the beauty about Samyaktva, and this is somewhat, it might be a little bit hard, but Samyaktva can be attained in any of the four gatis. Samyaktva can be attained in any of the in any place in the entire universe.
How do you attain Samyaktva as like a plant though?
Like a plant?
I don't know. Like what if you're a seaweed drifting in the ocean?
No. So when I said any of the gatis, the qualification is that you need to have a mind. So Sangni Panchendriya is the qualification, pre-qualification. So
Sangni Panchendriya in Tiriyan.
So Tiriyan Sangni Panchendriya. For example, there is a story that comes of Muni Surat Swami, where Muni Surat Swami did a vihar of 72 hours and came to Bharuch in Gujarat. Do you know that? Have you heard that?
No.
You know Muni Surat Swami, right? He was the 20th Tirthankar.
Yeah.
No?
Huh? We know him.
Who said that?
20th Tirthankar Lanchan.
They're saying no.
So he
Who said that?
after he got, huh?
Who said that?
Who?
No,
What are you talking?
that was me.
Who said that? He's asking Tattva, or who are you asking?
Never mind.
So he went to give pratibodh to a horse, and after listening to Munisurat Swami's discourse, the Deshna, the horse got Samyak Darshan.
Wow. Powerful horse.
Yep, more powerful than you and I.
Thank you.
Powerful nimit, right? The powerful cause of getting the Samyaktva.
So what actually, it's the other way around. What it's trying to show is that you can be anywhere. So the power is within us. The power is within horse. The power is within human beings. The power is within. So it's kind of rare, but it's not impossible to get Samyak darshan in Narki. So Narki Jeeves can also.
I wonder who has.
Narki Jeeves, no. So sometimes you can have Samyak darshan and afterwards you go to Narki. So that's a slightly different thing. So for example, Shrenik Maharaja, he got Samyak darshan.
Is it rare to get Samyak darshan and then go to Narki?
Yeah, it would be rare, but it does happen. Like we know of 2 examples, right?
Is it possible to lose your Samyak darshan?
Yeah.
Good question. So it's kind of that also is a rare.
Yes and no.
But it can happen. But the thing is, like, even if you lose, you are bound to get it again. So that's why the Bhaav counting equation still remains. So for example, so actually we said here, and maybe you guys should have a question. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
For Mahavir Swami Bhagwan, 27 births.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked about this before, right?
When did Mahavir Swami Bhagwan got Samyak darshan?
Nayasar.
Correct. And Nayasar was it after Rishabdev Bhagwan or was it before Rishabdev Bhagwan?
It was during, wasn't it?
No, that was the third Marichi Bhav, right? So
Then it must have been before.
Right, correct. So because Naisar was the third Bhav, and this was before Naisar, Mahavir Swami Bhagwan was in Devlok, and the lifespan in Devlok is pretty high. And then before that, he was Naisar. So we can say that at least even Marichi was born during Adeshar Bhagwan's time. And Adeshar Bhagwan we know was at the beginning of the 4th Ara. And then Mahavir Swami Bhagwan got moksha.
Towards the end of the 5th Ara, right?
Towards the end of the 4th Ara. Just before the beginning of the 5th Ara.
No, isn't the first Tirthankar supposed to come in the 3rd Ara?
End of the 3rd.
They are born at the end of the 3rd Ara, but so depending upon whether you are talking about Avsar Pini or Utsar Pini.
Ascending cycle, descending cycle.
Right now we are in the
I think right now, no. Right now, are we doing?
We're in
Avsar Pini, yeah.
We are in the Avsar Pini, that's the descending cycle. Right. So in the descending cycle, 4th Ara is the time when all the Tirthankars would be. And in the ascending cycle, 3rd Ara would be the time when all the Tirthankars would be. But in the descending cycle, the Tirthankar is born, the first Tirthankar is born very close to the ending of the 3rd Ara. So Rishabdev Bhagwan was born just before the 4th Ara started. But anyway, our question was that Mahavir Swami Bhagwan was at the time of, he was Marichi, his 3rd Bhav, at the time of Rishabdev Bhagwan. Okay. And he attained Keval Jnana towards the end of the 4th Ara. And the question then was, so how much time? You guys remember? What is the time span of the 4th Ara?
It's an Ara. No, that's the 5th one.
5th Ara is 21,000 years, correct?
Yep.
5th and 6th are about 21,000 years.
Correct. So 4th Ara. So if it was 5th Ara, then we can imagine. So you can still have 27 births in 21,000 years. That's kind of possible. That's not impossible, right? Because we just said that in Narki. So the first Devlok also is 10,000 years. So if
okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say that if you go to Narki, then half of your life is already gone. Well, half of your time is already gone. So then you'd have to have
if you are talking about the 5th Ara, but here we are talking about the 4th Ara. So the question is, how long was the 4th Ara? Yeah, Tattva, what question do you have?
Is the 4th Ara like Palyopam or Sagarapam?
Correct. It's 1 kks, right? Remember we had told you that?
KKS.
One koda kodi sagropam.
Yeah, one koda kodi sagropam.
So million multiplied by million sagropams. So sagropam itself is a huge number. Okay, one easy way to conceptualize what a sagropam is, think of how many drops there are in an ocean, drops of water in an ocean.
That's even harder.
So if each drop is 1 year, then that many years would be a sagropam.
It's a very long time.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a huge amount of time. So technically speaking, you cannot have 27 births in that huge time. So what happened for Mahavir Swami Bhagwan, it's kind of an exception for Mahavir Swami Bhagwan. Like he was one of the rare Tirthankars for whom this kind of thing happened, is that Mahavir Swami Bhagwan did a lot of bhavs even after attaining, because he lost Samyaktva. So even after attaining Samyaktva, because he lost Samyaktva, so then he had to do a lot of bhavs as an ekendriya.
When did he lose Samyaktva?
I don't know. Marichi?
No.
Yeah, right? Because he... Huh?
Nothing. That was just a guess.
Yeah, because that's when he said that Bhagwan's Diksha is very hard and I cannot be a Jain monk. So he decided to be, but that itself was not the cause of him losing Samyaktva. But then he kind of said that, hey, what I am teaching is also same. It's similar or even better than what Bhagwan is teaching. So when he said that, that's called Utsutra Prarupna, and that led him to lose his Samyaktva. Yeah. Remember, the worst path to do is the path of Utsutra Prarupna, which means that you say with lot of confidence and with lot of authority to a lot of people that I know the true Dharm, when it's not true. So if you spread a false thing, if you spread a false concept,
like 2 + 2 is 5.
Yeah. But,
it's not as simple, right?
Right. Similarly, that way you can understand. So it's
maybe
mostly
something with like less proof, If they can't prove, then they believe you.
Utsutra Prarupna is one of the risks of learning, because you can imagine, right? If somebody has not learned anything about Jainism, then they won't be able to do Utsutra Prarupna, or if they have not learned about any other religions, they won't be able to do Utsutra Prarupna. But once you learn something and you get a false confidence that I know this, and then you spread a false concept, then that becomes Utsutra Prarupna. So we have to be very careful. That's why even Acharya Maharaj Sahib, when they end their Vyakhyans, right, they say that, hey, if I said anything against Jain Agnya, then that was not my intention. I may have had a mental slip of mine, and therefore I said that. So it was an unintentional thing, and therefore I'm even asking for forgiveness for that. That's how they protect themselves from doing Utsutra Prarupna. And we can do the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
If you like tell like the wrong thing to one person, like maybe on accident or purpose, doesn't really matter, and then they spread that to like other people, would you still get the pop?
Yeah.
Of the Utsutra?
Because you started. Because you started it, right?
To get a lot of people to believe that what you're saying is right and what Dharm is saying is wrong, it would have to be something that's not easy to prove, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't prove it easily, then they don't really know who to believe.
Right.
So this is like the example that comes to mind, and I don't know how much this will make sense, but about 1,000 years back, when in India there was kings, and these kings were like patrons of arts and knowledge and other things, meaning they would value people who have that. So they would invite scholars to their courts, and they would invite like 2 people, right? So 2 people would say that, hey, I know a lot, and another person would say, I know a lot. So they would ask them to debate with each other. And then whosoever wins the debate was declared the victorious and would get like a lot of gifts from the king. And it also took the form where people would try to establish religious thing. So, for example, there were a lot of debates between Buddhist monks and Jain monks, between Hindu monks and Jain monks. So the idea there was that if a king would be convinced that the Jain monk is what the Jain monk is saying is right, then he would make it easier for the people of his kingdom to follow Jainism. So there was one incident when a Jain Maharaj Sahib, because he thought he might lose the debate, he created a false thing about saying that, hey, there are 3 types of substances. There's a Jeev, there's a Ajeev, and there is a no Jeev, which is not a Jeev and not an Ajeev, but a third category, which is not present anywhere in the sutras, in the Agam sutras that the Gandhar Bhagwan gave us. So he came up with that thing on his own just to win the debate.
How would that help you win the debate?
Yeah, so that like he was able to come up with a lot of logical reason to prove that, hey, this is the right way to think. Because when you are very intelligent, then this thing can happen, that you can come up with a lot of logical arguments, and if the other person in front of you is not as intelligent as you, then they may not be able to retort back. So he won the argument, but because of that, he did Utsutra Prarupna and would have to go to Nagi. And sometimes, yes, so the other Utsutra Prarupna can also take us to not just Narki, but to Nigod, which is in some sense, it's even worse than Narki, because Nigod is the...
Nigod, we talked about that, right? One sense living beings who share, there are infinite living beings in one body.
You must have heard that, right? Like Atna Palkarama, 17 times they are born and 18 times they die. Or sorry, 17 times they die and 18 times they are born.
I
So
don't
you don't remember that? Or have you not heard that?
So
No?
Maybe at some point.
So their lifespan is so short. Their lifespan is so short that it just lasts.
Lifespan of what?
The Nigod living being.
Nigod, you asked, right? What is Nigod? So we are defined.
So there are 2 things about Nigod beings, right? One is that they share a common body. So a lot of Nigod living beings are in one body.
You heard this, right? Like in a pinpoint little piece of potato, there are infinite living beings. That's why we don't consume.
And what are you saying about their lifespan?
On a needle, like if you were to keep a piece of potato on a needle, like a small piece, just enough to stay on the point of the needle, then in that small, tiny piece, there are infinite jeeves that share that same body.
Of the potato.
Yeah.
And their lifespan is that they're born, and as soon as they're born, it's almost like as soon as they're born, they die. As soon as they're born, they die. So all they're doing is...
They're reborn as the potato.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So typically, when somebody's in Nigod, they are getting born and dying in Nigod for a long period of time. It's very hard to come out of Nigod. So
Continue.
So most of us, so all of us, that's where we give the example of the Siddh Bhagwan. So all of us, we kind of started our journey of existence, started from the Nigod. So all of us were in Nigod.
As a one cell living being with one sense.
Everybody started as a one cell.
Right. So we were in, so there's kind of like, you can think of it as a Jain evolution theory. So we all were in Nigod. We were all in Nigod, and the only thing that we were doing is we were getting birth. So we were born and we were dying. We were born, we were dying. And this happened for like 1 year, 2 year, 1,000 years, 10,000 years, million years, billion years, long time, until one Jeev went to moksha, went to Shitshila.
From being a Nigod. From being a Nigod.
No. From Manusya, right?
You can't go directly from Nigod to moksha. How would you go from Nigod?
A human being, right? Like when we say the Chagauni, Yatra, all those things on the Fagan terrace, a lot of souls with Pundrik Swami, they went to moksha, or with Pavacha Putra. So so just imagine one of them, they went to moksha. Then we got a chance to come out of Nigod. So what that means is that now we are not in this cycle of continuous birth and death.
In the Nigod. So we have when we came out of Nigod, then we progressed to the different life forms.
Then you can become Ekendriya, Beindriya thing.
All the Satlak, all the Satlak Sutrama Aveshana Buddhi categories, yonis. So those are the different types of births that we took after that. But before that, it was just dying and living, dying and living.
So this is when the Jeev comes out of Nigod for the first time. But then, if the Jeev does some path of, like we gave the example of Utsutra Prarupna, then they go to Nigod again. So now they are not dependent on the Siddh Bhagwan. Now they can come out, but the time that it will take for them to come out is still a huge amount of time.
So even though the lifespans are very short, once you are in a particular category of Tiryanj, then you are stuck there because you will keep being born in that same gati over and over again.
Generally, when you are in Tiryanj, it's very hard to, you have to go through a lot of lives in Tiryanj before you get enough punya to be born as a human being, or even if you go to Narki. So, and then I think Tattva had said that. So, Narki is such a place where you cannot get 2 consecutive births in Narki. Similar with Dev. So, you cannot be a Dev and then be a Dev again in your second birth. So, 2 consecutive births in Devs are not allowed. So, when a Dev dies, they will be born either as a human being or as a Tiryanj. And when a Narki dies, they will be born either as a human being or as a Tiryanj.
So Narki, people from Narki cannot be born there again, and they cannot go to Devlok. And people from Devlok cannot be born again there, and they can also not go to Narki.
Correct.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because in Dev, as a Dev, you cannot...
Why can't they be reborn? Why can't they be reborn in the same Bhaav?
Because in order to... So the answer to the question is, what does it take to get a Dev Gati? Right? So it takes lots and lots of punya to be born as a Dev.
So like all the Maharaj Sahibs, almost all of them by default go to Dev Gati because the amount of Jeevdaya that they have followed in their Sanyam Jivan, that binds extreme amount of Shata Vedniya karma. The karma which gives us a lot of luxuries, a lot of comforts.
So it's exact opposite of what we said for Narki, right?
So to use up all that punya, you need to go in a place where you can use up all that punya, right? Because it's that extreme form. So in the same way, like if you do extreme amount of pap, you have to be punished and go to a certain place where you can get the, like if somebody were to kill, like that guy who was the butcher who was killing 500 bulls every day. How many times like he would have to die to get the pap of that, to equal out that pap? Several times, right? Yeah. So instead of that, what karma satta does is throws you in a place where you cannot die, but you keep suffering, like as if you are almost dead every time.
Every day you are dying.
Every
that
moment.
Makes sense. So in
the two extremes.
When somebody is in Dev, It's kind of, you can think of it as like if we go to like a trip, like if we go to Bahamas, for example, right? So we are spending a lot of money in staying in the hotel there and in sightseeing and buying stuff. So then we don't have enough money, so we have to come back to St. Paul and go to work and earn some money, right?
So it's like you guys know what a credit card is, right? Obviously. So there is a limit on the credit card, right? There's a limit. So let's say it's $5,000 on a credit card. Now, if you spend all those $5,000, then what will happen? Will the credit card go up?
Declined.
You owe money to people, don't you? Because
Yeah,
credit card is taken from the bank.
That's what happens, because in Devgati, you cannot bind, you cannot do any dharm. So how would you get punya?
So you're not binding new punya and you're using your old punya. You're binding very small amount of new punya, but you're using lots of your old punya.
So you're cashing in your punya.
Come back as a human being. Huh?
You're basically cashing in your punya.
Yeah.
So it's all like, what are the most common places that they would be reborn as?
Vyantardev? I don't know.
No. We just said, right? You cannot be born a Dev again.
So let's say if somebody is a Vyantardev.
Dev probably Tiranskati? Tiranskati?
Yes.
So which types of Dev?
Like what you just said, maybe a Nigod?
No, not Nigod. Not Nigod, but it's close to that. So it would be Ekendriya.
Oh.
You'd be born as an Ekendriya. So you'd be born as Prithvikai, Apkai, and Vanaspatikai.
Oh, there's no Teo. Why not a Teokai and Valkai?
Because these are the three things that they enjoy the most in Devlok. They have so much extreme level of fun in their water rides, in their waterfalls, in their pools, in the ponds. Like there are beautiful ponds there in Devlok,
swimming pools,
lotuses and fragrant flowers and everything. And so they swim in that. Then they sit under the waterfalls and they watch the waterfalls and they enjoy them.
They sit on the waterfall?
Under the waterfall.
Oh.
And not under the waterfall.
Like what you would do if you go to Niagara. Have you been to Niagara?
No.
I think so, right?
How do I know?
We went to Canada side. Is that a thing?
No, we haven't been to Niagara Falls.
Yes, we have.
Then say yes.
Okay, maybe you, Kavya has.
I stand alone.
You went to Minnehaha Falls.
That's not relevant.
You also went to Gooseberry Falls.
Okay.
That's not relevant either.
Okay, fine.
They're mentioning local state parks.
Okay, let's just say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. We went to the Canada side.
So
Okay,
basically, we are like when we are looking at a waterfall and we say, oh, wow, this is so majestic and so beautiful. What are we appreciating?
The water.
The water.
That is falling.
Water beings are falling. There are incountable water beings in each drop of water.
You guys know that, right?
So when they fall down, what would happen to them?
They die.
They die.
Exactly.
So we are basically praising the death of so many living beings. And we are saying, oh, wow, we are enjoying it. So
majestic.
And so obviously we will bind a lot of negative karma. So that is what they do in Devlok. They are obsessed with their jewels. So that is the Prithvikai. All of the diamonds and gems and,
just
like one gem of Indra Dev, the one gem on his shoe. They have gem-studded shoes, mojuris. So one gem can buy. Listen, Kavya, you're talking a lot in between. One gem can buy the entire riches, all the money and all the goods and all the property in the entire universe. One jewel.
Prithvi Lok, in the entire
on Prithvi. Yes.
our
Wherever we are, like all the Manushya Lok, wherever Manushas are, wherever there are treasures and kings and Chakravartis and all of that, even higher than that is the value of one gem. So they are like so obsessed with those things. They get so obsessed with it that they end up being born there. So wherever there is asakti, there is birth there. So wherever we have extreme, like we are obsessed with something, we are sure to be born there.
The ice cream खाओगे ना आसक्ति की.
Yeah.
Someone born as an ice cream.
Yeah, you will be born as a you, not you necessarily, but somebody would be born as a snow water being who is in the as a snow water being.
So we just have to be careful, right? So we have to learn. I know it's not easy. It's not easy because we've done this for several lifetimes. So we tend to make those same mistakes. But once we realize that, then we can try to overcome them, right? And at least we learn to observe that, okay, this is happening. First, we have to recognize and accept. That is the first step. And that's a big step. What were you saying, Vida?
Nothing. I was just like, if ice cream cones, if they could be made of wheat, somebody could be born as the wheat that turns into an ice cream cone or something.
Wheat, yeah. It could be. So there are so many stories where the person was obsessed with some little thing and then they were born as a bug in that, like they were somebody was obsessed with a piece of furniture, and they were born as a bug in there. Or if they are
Like
so obsessed with their, or if they are very obsessed with their wealth, then they are born in that same place as a snake or a dog or somebody like that. So that because they want to be in and around that place all the time.
What happened? We started because we are over time.
Yeah, we've gone over time.
We go over time all the time. It's nothing new.
Then I retired today. You must be used to over time.
He was telling me about how the Rasgulle guy is probably a Rasgulle now.
Yeah, she recommended it.
Possibly, yeah. But the reason we need to learn from it, right? We need to apply it to ourselves. All this thing is so that we can apply it to ourselves, not to apply it to others. Because guess what, right? Like we already mentioned this several times. Even if we see somebody eating a lot of rasgullas, we may not know what's the bhaav within them. So there's always there could be a possibility of an exception. But we know our bhavs. We know what's going on in our mind. We know what's our intention, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right, you're done?
So to overcome fear, we need to attain Samyaktva. Because when we attain Samyaktva, that's when we would know who we truly are. And once we know that, hey, I am somebody that is never going to die, because that is the property of a Samkit, that's the property of an Atma, who we are.
Okay.
If I said anything against Jinagnya, or if I said anything that hurt you, then Micham. Shrimastu sarva jagatah parahita nirta bhavantu bhuttagana dosha payantu nasham sarvatra sukhi bhakulo sarva mangal mangalyam sarva kalyana karanam pradhanam sarva dharmanam jainam jaiti. Did we also today is also the birthday of Gautam Swami. I forgot to mention.
Yes, he's only like 2,800 years old.
Yeah.
The greatest teacher of all.
I think we did not cover all of the homework, right? So you have something more to discuss for next time, or do we need to figure out?
Tattva Mumukshu.
Tattva Moksha, you guys wrote something on that?
No, we haven't started yet.
I just don't know how we're going to replicate. I just don't know how we're going to replicate Harry Potter.
Think about it. Think about it and write down whenever even in school, if you have some thought related to it, or you're in the bus going to school or whatever, just note down thoughts. Okay?
Want to say something?
You
All
were
right,
requesting.
I did. Well, I know
So
I did.
next,
What about?
next week, there is Naupad Oli. So what do you guys want to do?
You guys want to learn about the Oli, or you already know about it?
We can learn about it.
What are we going to learn about it?
What are the Napads?
Enough, but wait.
No, that's what you will learn. So if you already know everything about all the Napads, then you don't need to, then you can teach us.
No, I'm good.
Isn't enough for like I hunt to that chart? That's so
Have you seen that?
Can you do the Naupad
That's what we'll
puja,
teach
ne?
you.
Naupad chakra no, Sid chakra.
I hunt. What?
So the 5 pads that come in
So we'll
Napad.
talk about it next time. All right?
That's what we'll
Right,
teach
chalo.
you.
Well, I'll teach them.
Okay, fine.
Good. Jai Jinendra. Bye.
Okay. Sounds fun.